Hello everyone, welcome back. I wanted to do another video on avoiding tendonitis in your short arm, also known as tennis elbow. And I did 2 prior videos on this, and I wanted to basically review a few things. I also wanted to give you guys a different camera perspective, because I think you'll see things a little bit more differently from that angle. And I also wanted to expand a little bit on it and kind of take it forward from there. First, a quick review. What I talked about in the first video is we don't want to be making these diagonal cuts where the sword's traveling in this direction and my elbow's pointed that way, and all the stress is basically going into that ligament, okay? Because basically this elbow wants to bend this way, but the sword's going that way. So we want the elbow and the sword moving in the same direction. This is less of an issue on the left side, because if I make a, like a left side Zornhau, right, as I'm making that cut, the sword's coming down this way, but my elbow is pointed in that same direction, so it can absorb the impact better. Same thing if I make a middle Hau, okay, again, the elbow can absorb, if I make a leg shot, right, that elbow can basically pass that shock into the muscle and not take it on the ligament. On the right side, it's an issue, because if you make these straight cuts, sword's going this way, basically if my elbow is not able to absorb that shock and pass it into the muscle, it's going to get it all on the ligament. So the way we talked about it in the first video, I said basically when you bring in these diagonal blows, bring the hilt, okay, right past your face, okay. And so instead of coming down, with a big roundhouse cut, come in tight. Okay, come in tight, and this way the elbow can absorb the shock that way. So basically, I'm coming in tight. This is also a better shot strategically, because if Lichenauer tells us if somebody attacks as the buffalo, right, where they're coming in straight down, he tells us attack the arm over here. So because if I'm coming straight down like this, basically, that arm is very vulnerable. However, if I basically make these tight cuts like this, right, where the sword's coming in like that, what's happening is the arm is behind the sword, and the sword is basically coming into measure first. So that's, if there's an incoming sword blow, the sword's gonna hit it, instead of it hitting my arm. Okay. So strategically speaking, this is a better way to throw your cuts. Okay. And basically, I mean, in the first video I said, keep the sword at have the sword come past your face. In the second video, I took it a little further, because I wanted you guys to also be able to take leg cuts, right? And basically there I said, bring the sword past your hip, okay? So what I'm really saying here is bring the sword in through your center line, okay? So the way I'm standing here, and this kind of pole kind of helps you, basically we want the sword to come in through this center line as it makes these attacks, okay? So you see that hilt, okay? It's coming in, it's coming in tight. So from there we can make the rotational cuts, we can do all this good stuff. But as I'm doing it, I'm keeping the sword tight, okay? In this video, I wanted to go a little beyond that, and I wanted to introduce, a melee situation. In a melee situation, I have a shield, right? And, I have a line of guys to the left and right of me, and basically I have a line of guys in front of me, okay? And that's, basically, I have a guy right in front of me. At some point, I might push in. Okay, I'm using my shield kind of as a battering ram a little bit, right? I'm pushing the guy back. As I push back, okay, the guy in front of me is still kind of hard to hit because he's still behind the shield, but the guy to my right, is going to become more exposed, okay? So the question is, can I hit this guy without stressing out my elbow? And the answer is yes. Okay, it's all in the elbow, because the key thing is, okay, now I'm no longer attacking down the center line. Okay, I was really using that center line as a way to teach you guys of how to keep that elbow, pointed in the right direction. So as I push here, I'm basically keeping my elbow down. I'm using my hips, and there's my cut. Okay, and I can even do this at a distance. If there's distance between me and him, and I push forward, same deal. Elbows like this, so it can absorb that blow. Okay. Now this may not be a very powerful blow, because obviously, I'm using my hips a little bit, but I'm also bleeding off a lot of power. However, this cut may create an opportunity for the guy that's in front of him or to his diagonal, to, you know, or down there to strike him, because basically by me going by, throwing a blow like this, okay, that might get him to turn his shield in my direction, even if it, basically it might dink him a little bit. And by him turning a little bit in my direction, the guy, one of these other guys over here might get an opportunity to hit him, okay? But the important thing is here that we understand which way the elbow is pointing as we make these cuts, right? So I'm using hip, right, keeping my elbow like this so that elbow can basically absorb the impact and still avoiding the diagonal, because I don't want to make this diagonal cut. If I make a diagonal cut like that, I'm now in that same situation. Sword is going down, okay, elbows in the wrong direction, right, and all the impact is going to go right there in that ligament. So a few things for you guys to think about. It's also worth mentioning that most of these tendonitis problems that sometimes develop, it usually happens from the right side shots. It doesn't happen really from the left side shots, because with the left side shot, if I'm coming down, right, even if I'm straight arming this, like this, basically my elbow's pointed in the same direction as the sword. Okay, so you're not gonna have these problems. However, I still don't want to straight arm these shots, because Lichenau tells us that if somebody's straight arming a shot, attack the arm as it's coming in. So even with these shots, I want the sword coming past my face, so that the sword basically enters measure first. Okay. So it's still a better way to throw a shot. Keep it tight. Throw your shots down that center line. Okay. All right. So a couple of things for you guys to think about. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, share it. If you're not a member, subscribe. I'll talk to you guys next time.